All right, let's talk about something you probably think you have all figured out: carbohydrates. But trust me, we're going to go way beyond just bread and pasta. We're going to uncover what these molecules really are and the absolutely wild roles they play in our world. So let's get into it and unravel the sweet science behind it all.
So, to kick things off, I've got a little mystery for you. What on earth could a spoonful of sugar, a wooden table, and a crab shell possibly have in common? I know, it sounds like a weird riddle, but by the end of this, you'll know the exact chemical connection.
Here's our game plan. We'll start with the basics, what a carb even is. Then we'll meet the simple building blocks. From there, we'll see how they link up into these massive chains, explore where they pop up in our world, and then we'll finish with a truly mind-bending twist about mirror image molecules.
Okay, let's dive into part 1. What exactly is a carbohydrate? The name sounds all technical and scientific, but turns out the secret is hiding in plain sight. So if you were to crack open a textbook, you'd see this. Carbohydrates are polyhydroxycarbonyl compounds. Now, I know what you're thinking. That is a total mouthful. But don't worry, we're going to break this down into something way, way simpler.
The secret is literally right there in the name. Carbo, that's for carbon, and hydrate, that's for water. So a carbohydrate is, quite literally, a hydrated carbon. See? It's that simple.
And this whole idea is captured perfectly in its general chemical formula. You can see for every carbon atom, that's the C, there's basically a water molecule, the H2O, attached to it. It's this beautifully simple and elegant structure hidden behind that super complicated name we just saw.
Okay, so if those are the basic ingredients, how do they actually build anything? I mean, if carbohydrates are these big structures, what are the individual bricks they're made of? Well, it's time for us to meet the monosaccharides. Monosaccharide literally just means one sugar. And these single sugars are classified by a really simple rule: how many carbon atoms they have. A triose has 3, a pentose has 5, and a hexose has 6. And you can see a couple of real famous ones down there in that 6-carbon family: glucose and fructose.
And here are two of the biggest players in their usual ring forms. On the left, you've got glucose, the 6-carbon sugar that's basically the main fuel for our entire body. And on the right, that's ribose, a 5-carbon sugar that's absolutely vital for building the backbone of RNA, one of our key genetic molecules. So here's the bottom line. These simple sugars are not just some abstract chemicals. They are fundamental to life itself. Glucose is what powers our cells, fructose is why fruit is sweet, and without ribose, we wouldn't even have RNA. They are the essential building blocks of biology.
But what happens when these single blocks don't stay single? Well, that brings us right to our next section: how these simple sugars start linking up to form chains and create entirely new molecules.
Now, check this out. What you're seeing here is 2 glucose molecules joining forces. You see how they link together by kicking out a water molecule? That special connection is called a glycosidic bond, and the result here is maltose, a 2-sugar molecule that you'd find in stuff like malted milkshakes.
Now, when you get a short chain of these sugar units, somewhere between 2 and 10 of them, they fall into this middle ground category called oligosaccharides. They're kind of the bridge between the simple sugars we just met and the giant molecules we're about to see.
And that leads us perfectly to the big stuff, the grand designs. Let's see what happens when thousands of these sugar blocks link together. This, my friends, is where we finally answer that question from the beginning.
First up is starch. This molecule you're looking at, called amylose, is really just a massive, long chain of glucose units all strung together. This is how plants store energy. So when you eat a potato or a piece of bread, you're literally eating these long, coiled chains of pure glucose. Next, we've got cellulose. Now here's the wild part. It's also a long chain of glucose, just like starch. So what's the big difference? It all comes down to the way the bonds are linked. This tiny little change allows the chains to line up perfectly straight and pack together super tight, which makes the whole structure incredibly strong and rigid. It's the stuff that builds plant cell walls, which is why we find it in wood, cotton, and paper.
And finally, our last giant is chitin. This is another structural polysaccharide, but with a slight chemical twist. It forms the tough, protective exoskeletons of insects, spiders, and crustaceans like crabs and lobsters. It's basically nature's armor.
So, there it is. There's our answer. That spoonful of sugar? A simple carbohydrate. The wooden table? It's made of cellulose, a complex carbohydrate. And the crab shell? Made of chitin, another complex carbohydrate. All of them
fundamentally, are built from chains of sugar.
But hold on. The story is not over. For our final section, we are going to explore a really strange and fascinating property of these molecules, the fact that they can exist as mirror images of each other.
Okay, get this. Nearly all the sugar that we find in nature is right-handed, what scientists call D-glucose. Our bodies recognize it, they break it down, they use it for energy. But scientists can actually make a perfect mirror image version called left-handed sugar, or L-glucose. And our bodies, well, they simply can't use it at all. To our digestive system, it's totally invisible. It gives us 0 calories,
And you can see why right here. At first glance, they look exactly the same. They have all the same parts in the same order. But they are perfect non-superimposable mirror images of each other. It's just like your left and right hands. You can't put a right-handed glove on your left hand. It just doesn't fit.
So why doesn't it fit? Well, this quote from our source material absolutely nails it. Our body's enzymes, those are the little molecular machines that break down our food, they're right-handed too. They are shaped specifically to fit D-glucose, just like a key is made to fit into one specific lock.
And because that left-handed sugar is the wrong key for the lock, it can't fit. It passes right through our bodies without ever being broken down. It tastes sweet on our tongue, but our digestive system can't touch it. The result? 0 calories. And that, right there, is the incredible secret behind some artificial sweeteners.
And that leaves us with a final, pretty wild thought. Our entire biology is tuned to interact with only one specific mirror image of these essential molecules. It kind of makes you wonder, what other mirror image worlds exist right alongside our own that we are biologically completely blind to?